What's up everyone, welcome to another video. This video is super special. I say it's special because my friend Abhinav is featuring in this video. Abhinav and I went to Chico State together. In fact, we were roommates, so I'm super close to him, and now he's working in Chico full-time as a software application mobile developer. I think mainly in Android, but he also knows iOS. I know he has worked in iOS and Android both. He shares his entire journey from masters to becoming an Android developer or like mobile application developer. And it's a long journey, like, coming from India to America, from his journey of clearing the masters and then getting a job search. And one of the journey was where he had his H1B visa approved. He was working for a startup and that startup collapsed. And that was a crazy time for him where he had to retract his approved H1B visa and then find another job. Finally he has his H1B approved, and in the last part of this video where he gives the tips and tricks of how to become a mobile application developer, skills required, resume, job search. So we talk a lot about it. It was a long video, so what I decided is to divide this video into smaller chunks, like 10 minutes of chunks. You will see the link of each video in the description and in the comment section, so I hope you enjoy it. Abhinav, if you're watching this, thank you so much for doing this and your time and your experience with me and my own audience. I know my audience will love this content. I will now let you watch the content. Thanks, Abhinav, for doing this and spending your time and sharing your journey with me and my audience. I know your journey and your experience is super valuable. So thank you for doing this.
You're welcome, and I'm glad that I'm here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have seen many of your videos, and
Yeah.
they are very informative.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah, thank you. Abhinav, let's start with a short intro. Like, where are you from the India, and like what did you do in America, and when did you come to America?
So in India, I'm from Mumbai, Kalyan, to be specific.
Yeah.
And my family belongs to North India, so since my dad has transferable job, so we used to go to every part of India, and
Yeah.
at the end we came at Mumbai.
Yeah.
And since childhood I'm in Mumbai, like maybe fifth grade. So like I did my 10th over there, and then someday it came into my mind that I should go to US. I should pursue MS. It was my dream. If I'll do masters, I'll not do it in India.
Yeah.
And that's how I landed up in United States.
Yes, and then you did your master's in computer science.
Computer science.
In Chico State. So
Right.
before we actually talk about the master's journey, let's talk about like what was your profile like? What did you score in GRE and TOEFL?
I think in GRE it was somewhat around 296 or 295.
Yeah.
In TOEFL, I gave TOEFL like 3 or 4 times. I never passed it. And so therefore I gave IELTS, and that was in one shot. IELTS was my 6.5.
Nice.
And that was my
Jugaad
time.
yeah.
So I did that and applied.
And what was your bachelor's aggregate?
My bachelor's aggregate was somewhat around 62 or 63%.
Nice. Okay.
And
Yes.
I think I applied to like 10 or 12
universities. So you had GRE of 295, 296, you don't remember, but then you gave IELTS 6.5 and bachelor's of 64, 63.
Right.
So what are the colleges you applied to, and for what masters?
So I wanted to apply for computer science. So every college I applied for computer science. Then I was like, the selection of universities was very crucial. So I divided my university selection as like way beyond me, just for trying a luck, for like 2 or 3 universities. 5 universities was my aim that I should get within this 5, and the last three were like I will definitely get in that university.
Right.
So that's how I divided the 10 universities. Chico was not one of them, and Rochester. It was Rochester, California State Universities for Fullerton, Los Angeles. I think one more. I don't remember actually. Maybe
Stevens.
Stevens Institute of Technology. Then NJIT, New Jersey Institute of
Right.
Technology,
Yeah.
and Tamuk.
Yes.
Texas,
Kingsville. Yeah.
Kingsville, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think two more. I don't remember exactly.
Right. Yeah. And how many admits did you get out of those?
I think out of those, I got 5 or 6. The thing was, I didn't went into those.
You did not. You did not want it to go in.
No, I got the admit, but eventually I did not went into those.
Yeah.
So so it was like Chico was like Chico University came there and they gave a counseling thing, and they were like, okay, you apply and we'll see. Like there were like 40 or 50 students for the counseling for what they were giving, and I applied there and I got the admit, and I compared Chico with those 5. I felt that okay, Chico is like one of the cheapest. I would spend less money, and it is still better than it is nearest to Silicon Valley. So I was like, okay, just try this.
Right. And just for people who don't know when you say Chico came to India, there's an education fair where Chico State represented, and then that's where you met. So you did not even have Chico in your list.
It was not in my list.
So after all your admits came through, you're like, oh, let's apply to Chico and see if what happens.
Right.
Okay, nice. And so what? Like I know that you wanted to go. You almost decided to go to Stevens.
So the story about that is. With that 5-6 universities, I was like, which one should I choose? And I chose Stevens, thinking of its location. It is right in New York, and New York was my dream city, and New York and San Francisco were my dream city, and I was like, okay, let's go in New York. I know it is going to cost a lot, but I have seen that students get internship easily on the campus. So keeping that in mind, I was like, okay, let's go and start with Stevens. So Stevens at that time had a policy that if you are going to come, if you are going to admit, submit $500 as a deposit, and then you come here.
Right.
So I submitted that, and that was a confirmation that I am coming to Stevens. So I did that, and
Chico State came.
And Chico literally like 3 days later, that thing happened, and I was like, okay, let's
go to Chico. So what was like other than the price? Like what was the biggest factors for choosing Chico State?
So the fees in Stevens was really high. It was somewhat around $48,000 a year.
Yes.
Chico was like really low. It was not that low, but still it was in my like highest budget.
Right.
I had to figure out, because if I go to Stevens, I was getting some kind of internship, and that's how I was going to pay it. But it was not the case in Chico. In Chico, I really don't know how would the internship will go. Will there be any internship? Will there be any on-campus things?
Career fairs and stuff.
Career fair. So so that's how I decided, let us go to Chico. It is way cheaper than New York. Like maybe 60%.
Right, and cost of living was
50%. And cost of living was obviously low. So that's how I decided.
Got it. Yeah. And what was your biggest struggle for preparing, those entrance exams? Because you wanted to give some tips on.
So I was pursuing my bachelor's in Mumbai University, one of the college in Dombivli. So during that time, I was also preparing for my GRE, and I gave my GRE first time. I scored like 281.
Okay.
Even in 281, you will get some universities, but it won't be worth
Right.
coming to US, and
Yeah.
so those universities would be like, they might be top 800
Yeah.
or something like that. So I didn't wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, let's do one more time. And the biggest challenge was doing with English, as I was weak in English, and not that weak, but still I scored more in Marathi, and Marathi is not my native language.
Right.
More in Marathi, and less, like my lowest was in
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
So that was like a bummer.
Yeah.
But then later I studied really,
Right.
and I had a coaching, and then studied it, and then cleared it with 296 or something like that. So that
Nice.
was my second attempt. First attempt was, I just it gone in vain.
Right. So what kind of tip would you give for students?
So I would really give.
Thanks, Abhinav, for doing this. Okay.